Ekko, little man, the boy savior, or as he's best known in Wild Rift, Ekko, the boy who shattered time, is a slippery, high-burst assassin who excels at creating opportunities for huge plays. As a mid laner or jungle pick, his strength lies in his ability to manipulate time, burst down targets, and escape from seemingly impossible situations. This guide is for both mid lane and jungle Ekko. So we're gonna break down his abilities, break down his best build path depending on the role, and then we're gonna do two different gameplays, one for the mid lane and one for the jungle, so you can truly master Ekko in each position. Without wasting any more time on the intro, we're gonna jump straight into the ability breakdown, and even if you're confident that you know what his abilities do, you should still stick around because I'll be giving away some tips that only pro players know. Now let's break down his abilities and how to best use them with some advanced tips. Starting off with his passive, every third attack or damaging ability deals bonus damage and you gain movement speed. So for example, your first ability procs it once, then he procs it twice. All attacks also proc it. See the little circle around him? That's the cooldown on when I can start applying my passive on him again. Moving on to your first ability, very simple. You just throw something, it slows enemies hit, and then it comes back and does damage on the way back as well. It actually does more damage on the way back. Your second ability has two parts. The passive part, which against low health enemies, you deal additional damage with your auto attacks, including your third ability, because it's an auto attack, right? So I'll show you an example. Let me get the Skull Crab kind of low here. Oh, it's a tanky Skull Crab. Okay, now you see my auto attack. Look at the number. You see the 70, right? You see the 70, right? Now we'll auto attack it again, and it'll do 70 and 41 magic damage. That's now 45 because he has lower HP. Now 48 because he has lower HP. So your auto attacks will do more and more magic damage the lower the enemies are. And the second part is the active part. So you throw this circle, right? There's this animation, and you throw the circle. That slows enemies, and if you jump in it, it's gonna stun every enemy inside the circle. This is an extremely powerful ability for a basic ability. You can literally stun up to 5 targets in a team fight. Once you go inside the circle, you also gain a shield that actually has a massive AP scaling. So this shield in the late game becomes really big. Your third ability is phase drive, and it's quite simple. You first have a dash. And then your next auto attack will have extended range and you will jump on the target. Right? Very simple. Now let's look at Ekko's most basic combo, right? Your most basic combo is setting up your second ability, using your third ability, dashing on the enemy champion, using your first ability, and then an auto attack, which will proc your passive, and that will give you movement speed to either run away, or if your enemy is running away, right? You can position yourself in a better way so that the second part of your first ability also connects, right? Just like this. Now this combo is a lot smoother when you have your Nashor's Tooth or when you have Fleet Footwork, because you do an auto attack, right? And then Ekko has to wait a second and then he does his auto attack. So when you get more attack speed, the combo is a lot smoother in the late game. Now let's move on to his ultimate. His ultimate can be used both as an escape and as a huge damage source. So pretty much there's the shadow that follows you around, right? See the shadow? It keeps following me around. And when I press ult, I'm gonna go back to my shadow and I will deal massive damage around me. Just look at the AP scaling on this thing, 150% AP scaling. That's some insane damage. Obviously, it's pretty hard to hit because the enemies also see your shadow, so they can track where your ultimate is gonna be. And you can also use it as an escape. For example, I'm gonna jump onto the enemy, do my little combo, kill someone, then I can ult back to safety so that I don't take damage back. Keep in mind, whatever damage you take, you will heal a percentage of that. That's based on how much AP you have. Now let's look at some advanced uses for Ekko's combos. First up, let's look at a tip with his second ability and how to best use it. So Ekko's second ability has a pretty big animation, and what you can do is go out of vision, then use your second ability, and the enemy will never see it coming. That's the trick I used to solo kill this Heimerdinger on this clip. Let's see it from Heimerdinger's perspective. I go out of vision, and suddenly I come back, and my second ability is already on him. And without flash, he has no way of escaping it. And there's nothing he can do, he just dies. Your stun is normally pretty easy to dodge if the enemies are anticipating. With this tip, you can always catch them by surprise. The next tip is for your ultimate. If you stand still for 4 seconds, your ultimate is going to be on top of you. And you can use this against champions that jump on top of you to immediately ult, get all your HP back and do the massive damage, like in this clip versus Jace. Your ultimate is also an amazing way to turn around a fight when the enemies are chasing you down. In this clip, I don't really get a good engage off, but the enemies overextend for the chase and jump straight into my ultimate shadow, and I'm able to deal massive damage and pick up an easy double kill. Okay, now let's break down his build. So there's 2 different builds, one for mid lane and one for jungle, and they're quite a bit different, so I'm gonna separate the 2. Let's start with the mid lane build. In the mid lane, you almost always want to be rushing Lich Bane to empower your third ability and your burst combo. Then you're going to go Infinity Orb for even more damage. If you really want to, you can get Hextech Soul Stealer at this point. However, Infinity Orb will be easier to get one-shots with and will allow you to kill champions with just one combo after you complete it. So I think Infinity Orb is a bit better on Ekko. Third item, you're always going Death Cap. You need at this point to have Death Cap because you already have a lot of AP and you're high in levels. So Death Cap is going to give you so much AP. And Ekko has really big AP ratios. Then you want to go Crown, so when you do go in, you don't just instantly get one shot and you have more opportunities to ult away even if you are crowd controlled. Then, last item, Hextech Soul Stealer is gonna be your best option 9 out of 10 times. So, usually you don't want to be going Morello on Ekko unless the enemies have like a Soraka. However, the anti-shield item can be useful if the enemies do have a lot of shielding and you just want to replace Infinity Orb with it. Moving on to the runes. In mid lane Ekko, you most of the time want to be going Fleet Footwork. This is going to make your combo a lot smoother. You can use your third ability, auto attack, or third ability, first ability, auto attack, and that's going to make your combo very smooth with a bonus 100% attack speed. However, if you really don't like Fleet Footwork, you can still go for First Strike or even for Electrocute, which will be your max damage. Electrocute will do the max damage. However, I think you should learn how to play with Fleet Footwork because that's the best option, while it still has the 100% attack speed bonus. Moving on to your regular runes, Sudden Impact, Empowered Attack, and Eyeball Collector. Sudden Impact is going to give you extra magic penetration when you dash, and then Empowered Attack is going to give more damage to your first attack, so it's going to work similarly to Lich Bane with your third ability. Last, for your last rune, Bone Plating is the best choice. It's going to make your lane really strong. However, if the enemies have like a lot of CC, you can consider Perseverance as well. For runes, you're pretty much always, or for your spells, you're pretty much always going Flash and Ignite. However, there's some arguments to be made for Exhaust against certain matchups like Fizz or Zed. Moving on to the jungle build, and this is where it's a little different. For your build, you're actually going to be rushing Nashor's Tooth. This is going to make your clear a lot better, and since you're not necessarily focused on burst damage, you're more focused on longer drawn out fights, Nashor's Tooth is going to be great for that. But the biggest reason you're getting it is because it will improve your jungle clear by quite a bit. And then you're going to get Lich Bane after that, because Lich Bane is still going to be more useful than the Infinity Orb or the Soul Stealer. Death Cap again, always Death Cap third item. And then Crown, of course, it's going to help you, like I said before, when going in to serve with your survivability, so you have a chance to ult out if things go wrong. Lastly, you're again going to go for Hextech Soul Stealer. And again, if the enemies have a lot of shielding, you can probably replace Lich Bane with Ocean's Trident, or you can even get it as like a fourth item if the enemies don't have that much shielding, but they still have quite a bit and you need it. Morello, again, I don't recommend it on Ekko. You're more of a burst assassin. If you're not one-shotting the enemies, then the anti-heal is not going to do much anyway. I forgot to mention mid lane too, but for your enchant, you're pretty much always going Proto Belt, and you're pretty much always rushing Mana Boots, no matter how you're playing Ekko, right? You're rushing Mana Boots first item on jungle and for mid lane no matter what before your first item. And obviously, the Proto Belt enchant is the best to go. You can use your third ability and then Proto Belt and then blink to the enemy. It's a great combo. For your runes, when you're playing the jungle, you don't want Fleet Footwork because obviously you don't really need the healing or the sustain. You want to be going for First Strike, since when you're ganking, you're pretty much always going to be the first one engaging, and First Strike is going to give you the most gold and damage. Then for your precision runes, you don't need to be super lane dominant with empowered attack. You can go for scaling since you're going to be farming your jungle for most of the game anyway, so you want to enhance your late game. Go Gathering Storm, and here you can choose between Coup de Grace, or for Giant Slayer, depending on how much HP the enemies have, how many tanks they have. Then for your last rune, you can choose between Legend and Alacrity, which is your normal one, or you can go for Tenacity if the enemies have like a lot of crowd control. However, Alacrity will give you the most amount of damage. Lastly, of course, you want to go for Sudden Impact, which is going to give you extra magic penetration. And for your spells, you're pretty much always going Flash Smite in the jungle. Now, let's move on to some gameplay. We'll start off with a mid lane gameplay, and afterwards we're going to do jungle. So of course, we're playing Ekko mid versus an Akshan. And this is actually a pretty weird matchup because of how strong Akshan is in the early game. But Ekko is probably the strongest early game mid laner, and you want to take advantage of that. The reason he's so strong is because of how powerful his first ability is at controlling the wave and clearing the wave quickly. So as you can see, I use my first ability on the wave, and I'm going to use it again and immediately get level 2, which gives me a chance to go aggressive and get Akshan's flash. This is something I do pretty much every game because of how quickly Ekko can clear the first wave and I can ward the enemy jungle. Now Akshan walks a little too close to my first ability and I'm able to take first blood just like that. Ekko is incredibly strong in the first few levels because of his first ability wave clear and how quickly he can get prio and punish the enemy. Additionally, if your enemy doesn't have a dash, it's really easy for Ekko to do his basic combo, which does about 50 to 55% of the enemy's HP, and you can proc your combo very easily with fleet footwork, and then you can use the movement speed to escape before they can trade back, so Ekko is super powerful in this first few levels. Again, I'm going to go out of vision, try to use my second ability, but unfortunately Pantheon does get the stun on me. He's only level 2, so I'm actually going to look for an aggressive trade on him, but I'm not going to get greedy in the 1v2 and die for no reason. We're going to clear the wave, and again, we're going to look to go aggressive on the Akshan whenever we get the chance. We're going to take our Honey Fruit to be full HP, and now that we have a level advantage, we want to jump on him over and over again. You need to know in which matchups you can go in on Ekko and which matchups you can't. But with versus Akshan, this is a matchup where we can keep harassing him and we can keep going in. And he just used his third ability while not having flash right in front of us, so we can just one-shot him. And that's the power of Ekko in the laning phase. You want to consistently use your combo to poke the enemy down, and when they're around under 50% HP, you can look for an all-in. Obviously, this is a lot harder to do versus really strong early game champions. However, in most matchups, you can easily just combo the enemy and then immediately run away. My jungler is actually behind me, so I'm setting up a bait for the Akshan. I put my second ability under me, and I ult when he starts doing his damage to get my HP back, deal damage, and then stun him on my second ability, and Xin Zhao is able to clean up. And now Akshan is unimaginably far behind because of how many waves he's lost, and he's already died 3 times. We're gonna base and start building towards our Lich Bane. And that's exactly how you want to start the game with Ekko. You want to get an early game lead so you can start snowballing. Ekko becomes super oppressive from ahead. And the awesome thing about Ekko is that he's strong in every point of the game. He has a strong early game, a strong mid game, and a strong late game. You just have to know how to play him properly so you can maximize his damage. And again, we're immediately jumping on him. He definitely did need to flash there. I didn't have anything else. He was probably scared of me flashing behind him to hit my first abilities like comeback damage, and then ignite might have been enough. He's roaming, so I'm just gonna follow the roam because a fight is breaking down and we are very, very strong, so we can definitely follow up. Akshan died, so we're gonna go on the Ashe. She tries to flash away, but we've already predicted that she might try to flash away, and we've put our second ability further out. And that's how you want to be using your second ability, right? You want to predict the future and place it where you're gonna be in a few seconds. We're gonna go back to base and continue building towards our Lich Bane, but we're already so far ahead in this game. Panda is going for a gank. Super important to keep checking the side lanes with Ekko because of how good our roaming is. And again, I come back into lane, immediately combo the Akshan, right? Especially when I have my ulti, I'm very, very safe and I can confidently do that. I can push the wave and maybe even look for a dive now because of how far ahead I am. Ekko is amazing at diving because of his shield and because his ultimate loses him tower aggro. But we don't even need our ultimate, we just quickly one-shot him by predicting where he's gonna be and using a great second ability. We're gonna push the wave, and Ekko is pretty good at taking down turrets because you build Sheen and Lichbane, right? And you can also use your third ability on the turret to do even more damage. I see Pantheon roaming to my lane, so I'm going for a fight. Actually does a good job escaping there. Dashing onto the minion. I'm gonna be able to clean up the Malphite, and I still have my ulti. Xin Zhao is coming, I'm kind of trying to bait. And my ulti is right on top of him. Oh, me and Xin Zhao should still be able to clean him up. There we go, he's gonna get the kill. And since we saw Pantheon was low HP, we're gonna go and push out the wave. We need to be a little afraid of Pantheon ult. But I do want to see if I can actually take one more plating. I'm going to be greedy for it. I'm not sure if Pantheon has his ult up or not, but I want that plate. We're going to complete our Lichbane and start building towards our Infinity Orb. We're already super far ahead, so our damage is going to be out of this world. Oof, the snipe from Jinx. Okay, Jinx. I'm gonna push out the wave. Again, Ekko's pushing ability is absolutely insane with his first ability. It looks like the enemies are on Herald, so maybe we can do something. We want to play it slow because it's a 3v2 with Garen here. And we don't have our ultimate. So we're just gonna back off. And unfortunately we'll have to give up the Herald, but that's fine. Since we got the dragon. My team's kind of looking for a play. The turret's actually really low HP, so if we can take that, we can just dive them. I'm gonna go on the Malphite. Oof, I almost fully one-shot him with my combo, and Garen just cleans up. Now we're starting to get to the point where our damage is really insane. Soon we're gonna be able to one-shot champions from full HP, and that's when Ekko is an absolute menace because of how easy his combo is as well. It's very hard for the enemy team to really avoid it. So it's easy to execute, and if it does enough damage to one-shot you, it can be very, very oppressive. We're gonna roam top on the Ashe. There's no turret there, so this should be an easy kill. I don't want to flash for it because I'm not sure what she has. So I'm not gonna use my flash, I'm gonna clean up the wave instead of getting her. And now we can choose between Soul Stealer and Infinity Orb. In this game, I do choose to go Soul Stealer. Just because I'm so far ahead already that I don't necessarily need the Infinity Orb damage. I can just absolutely destroy them with Soul Stealer and then get the benefits from Soul Stealer. However, if this was a more even game, I would... Oh, that was a weird visual bug. If it was a more even game, I'd probably go for Infinity Orb. Oof, look at our damage already. We're 100 to 0ing the Pantheon pretty much. And my team is also doing very, very well. Which is always nice to see. I'm gonna place my second ability, jump on the Irelia. We still have our ulti. Okay, it was not needed, but we used it anyway. We've already taken 2 inhibitors in 7 minutes. Okay, you know what? Because this game is such a complete stomp, I'm actually gonna do 2 mid lane gameplays for you guys. That's what I've decided. We'll do 2 mid lane gameplays and 1 jungle gameplay, just because of how big of a stomp it is. Just so I can give you more advice on a more even game, right? Always clean up the enemy jungle when you're this far ahead. I say this on all my videos and no one listens. But you want to be clearing up the enemy jungle whenever you get the chance. Counter jungling is absolutely broken in this game. Gonna start building towards our death cap, and of course we're gonna get our proto belt. You want to use proto belt in combination with your third ability to kind of extend its range, right? You use your third ability, then proto belt, and then you can blink on the enemy and get in range of them if they're too far away. Gonna clean up the wave. That wave clear is so satisfying with Ekko. Let's look at our damage. Let's get someone to overextend here so we can one-shot them. Okay, Malphite. Oof, that's some nice damage on the Malphite. Now, the enemies are kind of giving up. Our damage is just too insane. We're gonna use Proto Ball to escape. No! Pantheon got us. Complete and utter disaster. We ruined our perfect KDA, but our team is going to be able to get a third inhibitor. Very, very nice. We unfortunately can't afford our death cap, but we have 600 gold. So a quick little tip is you can buy an amplifying tome, because on our next base, unless we really need death cap right now, we're not going to go and farm some gold and then come back for death cap, right? So we can just get an amplifying tome to be stronger now, and then on our next base, we'll buy death cap anyway. So this is going to make us temporarily a little more strong than we would have been if we just saved our gold, right? So we're going to spend our gold right away, get an extra amplifying tome, and then we're still probably going to have enough for death cap. So actually it looks like my team is going for dragon. I'm going to split push on the side lane. The enemy team has 3 inhibitors down in 10 minutes, so it's not like they can really contest the dragon because the minions are going to overwhelm them. Looks like Pantheon actually ulted there, but he's just going to die and not be able to steal it. Oof, the damage on the Irelia is pretty nice. Irelia is actually quite tanky, so we're not going to be able to one-shot her, but again, we do have our ult to escape, we have our second ability shield. Oof, we're not able to one-shot the Akshan. I'm going to have to ult his ult. Oh, and we are going to go down, unfortunately. That was a little int from me, slight int. But my team is able to clean up. And this is just so oppressive when you have 3 inhibitors down this early. The minions are just able to pretty much end the game on their own. Okay, Xin Zhao. The Great Escape, while Garen is ending the game. They really want a Xin Zhao, but Malphite is gonna get him, the AP Malphite. We actually still didn't end the game, and I actually end up backfiring, right? I don't have the gold that I need to get Death Cap because I bought the Amplifying Tome. So yeah, sometimes it does backfire. So I'm just gonna continue building towards my crown and get Death Cap on my next base. So I'm doubling down now. I'm gonna go for blue buffs since my jungler is dead. Because I really like blue buff. It's gonna give me some extra ability haste. Okay, Garen. I'm coming for you, Garen. He's just stomping the 2v1. Pop off. Get the stun the Irelia. Oh, we didn't get the stun, but we're still doing insane damage on her. She's staying on top of our ult, but we don't need it. Throw the belt forward to extend the range of our third ability. And we're able to jump on the Ashe and pick up the double kill. He's ulting us, but again, we can use our ult to completely dodge it. You can also use this with Fizz ultimate, you can use this with Zed ultimate, and you completely negate their damage. So Ekko ult can be used against certain champions in this way. So Pantheon. Nice. Okay, we are messing around a little too much. Okay, there's the enemy surrender. Let's move on to another mid lane gameplay because this one was simply too short. Jumping on to the second game, we're playing against Teemo mid, which is a pretty scary mid laner because with his blind, he can stop us from proccing our passive and our third ability, so we want to be careful. We're going to do the exact same start and hard push the first wave. And when our second ability comes up, we can use it to quickly get level 2 and get really good early trade on him. Gonna go drop a ward on the Raptors, and he's actually walking into me while still being level 1. Oh, he leveled up, so our Ignite is not gonna finish him off. That is very unfortunate. And I couldn't even flash for the Ota because I was blinded. So we're just gonna push the wave. That is still a pretty big win for us because he's gonna be missing minions. Oh, what is going on in the jungle? We have huge mid problem in the early game, so we can follow up on that. Let's see if we can get the Kindred. Oh, we definitely cannot get the Kindred. I should have gone for the Galio. Now the Galio is gonna escape too, so that's a pretty big mistake from me. I should have definitely focused the Galio there with the Garen, which I focused the same target. Since I cannot afford my boots, instead of getting my tier 1 boots that's gonna give me a bit of movement speed, I'm instead gonna get another amplifying tome, which is gonna give me 25 AP, which will be a lot more useful than just plain boots, right? And similar to the previous game, we want to look for our combo as often as we can. Obviously with Teemo's blind it's a little harder, so we want to try and get our combo off before he blinds us. Which is surprisingly hard to do. The wave is pushing onto us, so he's gonna have to walk up to last hit. We can wait for the blind duration to go out. We do take a turret shot, but we do get our combo off on him. Now we're both low HP, which is a little dangerous because of Teemo's invisibility. But we are level up, so we should have the advantage. He does not walk into it. I do have my ulti now. But I do have my ult, so I can flash on him and then ult away. Oh no, he went invis. It's a disaster. And we ignited the Kindred. Another cool thing you can do with Ekko's ultimate is you can recall and then ult back to lane. But obviously that's not always super worth because of how long the cooldown is. So I would only use that in certain situations. We'll base and pick up our boots. Kind of unfortunate we wasted both summoners and our ult for pretty much nothing. But you gotta respect the play, am I right? We'll run back to lane. We still haven't managed to get a solo kill on this Teemo. He's managed to evade us. Next we got the best Hextech toolkit. So we're gonna push the turret and actually get 2 whole platings while Teemo is gone. It's absolutely amazing. Nice, clean up the wave. And there's the Teemo. If we can get the stun off, we can still trade with him under turret. Oh, Kindred's actually here. So we're gonna run this way. Our ult is coming up in 3 seconds. Our ult is up. We can jump on the Teemo and get all procs of our passive and we'll pick up the kill. I don't think we'll be slippery enough to be able to get out. We're also gonna get ignited by Gallia, so we have no hope of getting away. However, even in that situation, we're able to get 1-for-1, and that's exactly what Ekko is best at, right? In these situations that seem almost impossible, he's able to make it happen. And now we have a 1,200 gold lead, which is pretty massive. Gonna sprint back to mid lane. And the Galio is destroying my Garen. Our satisfying wave... Oh, we missed 1 minion, but we have satisfying wave clear with our first ability. Hello, Teemo. Gonna wait for the blind as I chase him down. We're pretty much able... Oh, Warwick has stolen our kill, but we're pretty much able to one-shot him from full HP there. Our damage is already quite high. I'm gonna get greedy and look for a plate. I have my second ability and my ulti up, so I'm not too scared of this Kindred. I get massive damage, but she does have her ultimate. And we're able to clean up. Again, Ekko has the advantage when we're both low HP because my attacks and my third ability deal missing health damage to champions with low HP. So the lower we are, the bigger my advantage. Teemo almost thought. He almost thought he had me there, didn't he? I'm getting a little greedy. I just don't want to miss any of these minions while I recall. Maybe I can catch him with my stun. I cannot. And I will take shroom damage for no reason. So I'm just going to dash out of there as he went invis and he's chasing me. We're going to stop pushing our luck and we're just going to recall. And get our Lich Bane. Nice. We unfortunately can't get Proto Build yet. We have to wait for 6 minutes and 30 seconds. So we're just gonna go ahead and buy an Amplifying Tome. A huge fight is happening down in the bottom lane. Galio has roamed, so I'm gonna roam down. I can definitely look for Caitlyn here. Boom. That's what happens when your people hunt us down like animals. We're gonna pick up the Caitlyn. Stupid enforcers, am I right? That's an Arcane reference, for those of you that have seen Arcane. Now I can actually go back and get Proto Build. Excuse me, you can actually get Proto Build at 6 minutes, not at 6:30. They have changed that a few months ago. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick up my Proto Build to improve my range and really be able to get into that backline, be able to get on top of Caitlyn, because her range is really, really big. And we're immediately gonna go to side lane, and this is usually what you want to be doing in the mid game. Obviously this is a little early, but since the lane swap has already happened, we want to be going to the side lanes. This is where you usually want to be spending your mid game if you're not completely Goomba stomping the enemy team, right? You're going to be pressuring side lanes and then rotating and roaming and making plays. In this situation, we're not going to roam because we can still get plates. We already got a bunch of plates mid, and we're going to get a few more in the bot lane. So we're going to be super fed this game just off of the plates. The enemy team is looking for Dragon. We're going to place our second ability and look for an engage. We can't find it, so we're just going to ult back and get out of there. We're going to lose the Dragon, but that's completely fine. I'm still going to stick around to see if I can pick them off if they overextend. Boom, we one-shot the Caitlyn, proc our passive on the Senna, and now we can use our movement speed to run back in. Great hook from the Thresh, and that's exactly how you want to teamfight with Ekko, right? You want to be in a flanking position, you want to be constantly looking for opportunities to proc your passive, do your combo, get stuns with your second ability, and that's exactly what we're able to do. And now we're going to pick up our Lich Bane and our Infinity Orb. We're on our 2-item power spike, and our damage right now is absolutely absurd, and it's only going to be getting higher. And again, we're going to immediately run into the side lane, push out a wave. If you notice that no one came previously, so the enemies missed a lot of minions under a turret because their macro is just not very good. And now we're going to be able to take the turret as well. So by pressuring the side lane, we're constantly getting gold, and the enemies are losing gold. The enemies are going aggressive on me, but they're on top of my ulti, and there we go. That's what Ekko is all about, the massive ultimate combo. Whenever you're getting chased down as Ekko and the enemies walk into your ultimate, you can ult back and do absolutely insane damage. And we're going to be able to pick up a double kill and probably another turret. That was a massive play. That was a game-winning play right there. Drop a ward in the enemy jungle, and like I always say, we're gonna take our time and counter jungle the enemy as much as we can. The blue buff might be a little greedy because it takes longer than Grump, so I'm just gonna take the Grump and base and not be too greedy. And of course I'm gonna start building towards my Rabadon's death cap. We're actually like a 5,000 gold lead on Teemo. We're absolutely stomping this game as well. However, our team isn't doing too hot, so it's not gonna be as easy as the previous game. Jump on the Caitlyn with our Proto Belt combo, and just like that, we're able to one-shot her. Ult back on the Senna. We can chase the Kindred too. I'm gonna flash the wall. Get the Kindred as well. That's a triple kill for the young Ekko. Now we're gonna push down turrets with our team. Again, whenever you get kills, you want to be looking for something. Look for turrets, look for jungle camps, look for something. I'm gonna go push out the bot lane as well. I do have enough gold for my Rabadon, so I do want to base. Hopefully my team cleans up the enemy jungle, and it looks like they are doing that. Good, good, good. Well played, team. Someone is teleporting on the map. I think that was Teemo. Yeah, Teemo for some reason has teleport. I think he's quite demotivated based on how hard we're stomping him this game. Oh, we're gonna wait for his blind. We do have Proto Build coming up in 2 seconds. So dash the wall, Proto Build, jump on him, and we're able to quickly clean him up with our combo. Our damage is obviously really insane right now. We don't even need the ignite to one-shot him. And again, we're pressuring the side lane. By pressuring the side lane, we're forcing the enemy to come and defend their turrets. We're getting a bunch of gold, and then we can rotate for a 4v5. We can split up the enemies and look for picks. Thresh can do something here. I can jump on a Kindred. Oh, I missed my first ability. I'm gonna have to ult out. Kindred did ult, dude. She's so scared. Oh, Galio flashed on us. We're really low HP. I'm gonna still throw my second ability out there. Maybe I can get some miracle stun. Oh no, Teemo! Not the Teemo! Okay, our first ability gets the Caitlyn, but Teemo does clean us up. The young Timothy. Let's see if our team can clean up. Oh, you Jinx. Oh, you Jinx, you can get him too. You're running the wrong way, Jinx. I'm pretty sure Jinx could have gotten that. She went for the farm instead. Now we can build Soul Stealer or Crown. I don't necessarily need crown this game too bad. I just have to watch out for like the Galio taunt, but I don't really have a lot of crowd control or any like any abilities that can stop me from ulting, right? So as long as I watch out for the Galio taunt, I can always ult back to safety. So instead of going crown, I'm just gonna go full damage and grab myself a soul stealer. The Baron has spawned, so we're going to start looking to close out the game. What you can do with Ekko all the time is use your second ability to fish, like I'm doing here. I'm going to fish myself a Kindred, and I still have my ulti to escape if I really want to, but our movement speed is too high. Senna walks into our ultimate, and we're able to just immediately one-shot her. You have to always be super careful of where Ekko's ultimate is. Okay, Teemo, where's that damage? Oh, and we jump back in and we get the healing from Fleet Footwork for the quadra kill. Oh no, we died to the Galio. Maybe if I flashed that, I could have gotten a penta, I don't know. That was a really clean play though, that was 4 quick kills. Our damage is absolutely out of this world and the enemy team does not know what to do. Dude, Galio is so tanky. But our team is able to clean him up. Kindred has a respawn, so I don't know if they can get much. Maybe Garen can get bot turret? Probably not. We should probably start looking for Baron too. I do want to get blue buff. Is Warwick running to it? It looks like he's going to red buff, so I'm just gonna take it. I'm not gonna wait for him. I'm too fat to do that. Teemo placed a ward on Baron. I can jump on them and just immediately ult out since Galio ulted. And after you hit level 13 with Ekko, my ult is in such a low cooldown, right? He has a 23-second cooldown. So every time I'm in a tough situation, I can just use my rewind button. I'm fishing again with my second ability and I'm able to find myself a Teemo. I don't have ulti, so I need to flash out. Caitlyn flashed on me, but I just completely one-shot her and now I have my ulti back up again. Oh, and the enemy team drops the surrender. Okay, I guess that is it. Easy dub. Now let's jump into the jungle gameplay. When the game starts in jungle, I like starting with my control ward, placing it in my red side, and then basing to swap my trinket and grab a sweeper so I can gank more easily without the enemy team catching me, and then running to my top side to start off with blue buff. Now what you can do with Ekko is use your first ability before the camp spawns and the camp will spawn into it. I used my first ability just a second too late. Obviously you don't want to be doing that. You want to get really good at clearing your jungle efficiently. And it's really important to also double camp with Ekko. So now I'm going to use my first ability to hit both the blue buff and the grump. So I can do what's called double camping, right? I'm using one ability to hit both camps so I can be as efficient as fast as possible. Even though my clear will be slowed down since I literally missed my first ability this clear. But it's still gonna be pretty fast if we do it correctly. So now putting your third point to your first ability or second ability is fine. Both of them are fine. However, I think it's slightly faster with another point in your first ability. So that's what I'm gonna be doing. Accidentally use my third ability on a small raptor. And again, we're gonna be looking to double camp. So I'm gonna hit the red buff with my first ability while still clearing the raptor. Obviously be really careful that your camps don't reset, especially on your first clear. That could ruin your whole game. So you want to be really careful of that. Move on to Krugs. And once we get the Skull Crab, we're going to be level 5. But I'm seeing quite a lot of things happening down in the Baron lane. So we can look for an early gank. We're going to become Tiny Ekko and get the movement speed with a Hextech toolkit. Jump on the Aurelia. It seems like she doesn't have flash because she probably already traded it with Ornn. So we're going to be able to pick up a kill on the Aurelia. And now we're going to help the Ornn push out the wave since he's really low HP. And he wants to push this wave under turret. It looks like he's not really going for the minions. So we're just going to go and take them while he gets the crab. or the scorpion, excuse me. We're gonna go get the crab before we base. Perfect. Really good start. We're gonna get our boots, and like I said, because we're playing jungle, we're gonna start building into the Nashor's Tooth, which is gonna improve our clear speed, which is very valuable when you're playing jungle. Our Grump is up, so we're gonna go clear our Grump. Top lane will actually be a pretty good lane to gank this game, our duo lane, because we do have Galio who can actually do a pretty good setup, and the enemies are playing Misfortune and Lux, and neither of them have any real escape. So this is gonna be a pretty easy lane for us to gank. Unfortunately, our Galio didn't really go in on that, but I guess enemies did have vision. But they don't have vision of me now, so maybe if Galio goes. He's not going, maybe he just doesn't have his spells up, or maybe he hates us and does not want us to get free kills. So he's gonna back off and go back into farming our jungle, and we'll try again later. Again, when you're playing jungle, the most important thing is to farm your jungle. And here we spot the enemy jungler bot side, and he has blue buff, but he doesn't have red buff, which means that he probably started on his red buff, and his red buff is now up, and instead of being here, he's bot lane. So we're gonna go and counter jungle and pick up his red buff. This is a really important skill to learn when you're jungling, figuring out and being able to track where the enemy jungler is and what camps he has done. Since he has blue buff while being bot lane, his red buff has expired, which means he started with red buff. Now I see that the enemy dragon lane is overextending, so we're gonna look for them. We're gonna go on the Lux first. Oof, and they flash right in my first ability, and we're able to get both of them. And we get their heal, and we get the Misfortune flash. We're again gonna push the wave and look for a recall. Tryndamere is here, but it looks like my team has it handled, so we're not gonna cancel our recall. And again, we're gonna go back to farming. We're able to counter jungle 2 camps as well, so we're gonna be super far ahead. Counter jungling is really powerful when you can get away with it. Win the 150 gold for our Nashor's Tooth, but I don't know if we'll have time to go get that since the objectives are spawning. So I can either base right now and be late to the objectives, or I can get my red buff and be early in the objectives without getting Nashor's Tooth. We're gonna continue to double camp. Oof, perfectly executed double camping. And now we can go over to the Herald. I'm just continuously checking the lanes, right? I'm checking Baron lane just to see the state of the wave, to see where Irelia is, see how much mana and HP the enemies have, gather important information so I can make decisions. Like if Irelia was like full HP and full mana and was not recalling, then maybe I'd be a little more scared to do this objective while Tryndamere and Lucian showed mid. So Tryndamere is going for the dragon buff, and that means that he's leaving his blue side open, right? Because we saw him top lane before, we saw him in the dual lane, so that means that he was not doing blue buff, and now he's on dragon. So it means that he hasn't farmed his bot side jungle, so we're gonna go ahead and do that for him. You're very welcome. Maybe we can look for a gank on the Irelia. Nope, that's okay though. We're playing with our tempo and we're following our jungle camps, so even if these ganks don't always work out, we don't really lose anything because there was nothing for us to do there anyway, right? We're gonna pick up our proto belt to make our ganks even stronger, and of course we already have our Nashor's Tooth, so now we're already really strong, and since we've managed to steal a blue buff and a red buff from the enemy jungler, we're gonna be really strong. I'm trying to look for a gank mid, but it looks like Lucian knows what he's doing and he's not gonna become a free kill for us. We're gonna clean up our blue buff, and maybe we can look for a gank mid again. Or even the Baron lane, because Misfortune is very overextended. She did get a double kill. Both Lux and Misfortune are very overextended, and there's gonna be 2 easy kills for us. Lux is gonna flash away, but we will smite her. Now we're just gonna go clean up the wave, so that he doesn't die to tower, right? I'm gonna go and use my Herald little balls to get a plate and do some damage to the turret. And again, the enemy jungler, his red buff and Krugs just spawned from the last time we took them. So we're gonna go ahead and take them again since he's not here. And we're gonna be able to pretty much farm so much of his jungle this game. His raptors are up too, so don't mind if I do. We're gonna be so strong in this game just from farming his raptors and getting free kills in the dragon lane, since the enemy team is just running into us. We're gonna go back to farm our jungle, because again, you don't want to be leaving your jungle camps up, you want to be farming them as well. We could look for a gank here. We have Proto Belt. I'm just gonna flash on the Lux to put me in position. I'm really low, so I'm gonna ult back, but we're able to clean up the Lux. Oh. Need to be kind of scared from the MF just one-tapping us. Gonna recall somewhere safely. Oh no! Okay, it didn't bounce to us. We're good, we're good. And the Misfortune has sprinted it down trying to get us. Dude, that first ability almost bounced on us, by the way. We would have died for sure. We're able to pick up our Lich Bane, so we already have our 2 items. Our mid lane is kind of getting crushed. Let's see if we can maybe do something on the Lucian. Now he's gonna immediately dash away. And then he slows us down. We're not gonna take the wave, we're gonna leave it for the Syndra. We're just gonna go back and farm our jungle. Oh, it looks like our Krugs are not there. We can look to farm the Skull Crab and then maybe look for a gank in mid lane or on the Aurelia. Lucian is kind of overextended. He doesn't have, because we don't have a turret. Oh, he dashed in. He's definitely dead. Good job, Syndra stunning him. Oh, 3 enemies are following along. We gotta be a little careful here, but we do have our ult and our shield. We can still turn this around with our ultimate. Okay, he's walking into it. Perfect timing, and that's a godlike performance from the young Ekko. Clean up our Krugs that just spawned. Perfect. And we can go back and get our Rabadon's components. Can't get the full Rabadons yet. Now we're gonna go back and again farm our blue side. This is something that's super important when you're playing jungle, and I see a lot of jungle players just not doing, right? They stop farming. In the mid game, you want to continuously farm and you want to farm efficiently. You shouldn't give up farming. It's a lot of gold that you're giving up, right? Just the blue buff and Grump are almost as much as a kill. So you can't underestimate how much gold jungle camps give you. And again, whenever you're able to counter jungle, go ahead and do it. Each camp is worth like a third of a kill. So if you think about it that way, you're getting so many resources. And again, the enemy red buff is up, so we're gonna be able to take the enemy red buff again. And his raptors are up, so we're gonna steal 3 camps. Oh, we do see Lux there, so we just need to dodge our first ability. There we go. And we're gonna be able to pick up the Lux, thank you very much. Oh, they're all collapsing on us, but we do have our ult to get out of the sticky situation. Then jump on Lucian. Now we're gonna go around and look for Misfortune. There we go, and we're gonna clean up the Misfortune as well. And our team is gonna be able to get a Tryndamere. That's a triple kill for the young Ekko. And that's gonna be Dragon as well. We didn't get the first Dragon, but by getting this Dragon, we can deny them the soul. So neither team is gonna be getting soul this game. We're able to get our Death Cap in base, but first let's grab the Skull Crab. Perfect. Now we can go get our Death Cap. But the Lux is actually by herself on the side lane, and we do have our ulti up again, so maybe we can look for something. Oh, there she is. Able to quickly one-shot her and get another kill. And this is why Ekko is so good in the jungle as well. Once he gets a lead, he's able to just do so much damage, pick up so many kills. His tempo is so high. He clears his jungle so quickly. He's an absolute menace once you get a lead. And it's kind of easy to get a lead with him because of how strong his early game actually is. Now we're going to go back to farming our jungle. Of course, we're going to be clearing our camps as efficiently as possible, using our first ability on multiple camps at the same time. And now that we cleared our camps, we can look for a play. Predict where Lucian is going to be. Oh, he flashes away from our stun. But we can Proto Belt forward and pick him up. And now we can clean up the Aurelia as well in the 1v2. We do have our ult in case we need it, so we're chilling. Let's see if the enemy jungle camps are up. And it turns out the wolves are up. We've countered jungle so much this game. Your second ability just to go fish. No one is there. Oh, I don't know what is going on in the top lane. Is no one defending that? Are we just gonna lose inhib? We just straight up lost an inhib. I guess I should have based earlier. Can go on the MF now. Thankfully the enemy's overextended. So we'll be able to pick up a double kill. But we did lose a whole inhib for that, which is not great. Clean up the blue buff. And again, we're gonna jump into the enemy jungle. We've gotten so many of these jungle camps this game, and this is one of the reasons why we're so far ahead and we do so much damage. Obviously we have 14 kills too, but we got ahead in this game by counter jungling. Obviously the free kills that we got Baron Lane helped too, but being able to counter jungle this much actually set us so far ahead in both gold and EXP. And now we're gonna go on the other side with the Hextech portals, and we're gonna pick up his blue buff as well. Oh, Lux walked into us. She missed her route. We're gonna one-shot her and ult right out of there. Maybe we can continue to fight. I'm using my second ability before I go in, get the shield. We can probably go on MF. I can flash for my passive proc and pick up another kill. We're absolutely massive. And we're gonna be able to buy our full build thanks to the Ornn. Thank you so much, Ornn. We're actually full build in 13 minutes, which is really insane. We're again fetching, we're going fishing with our second ability, trying to see if anybody bites. I really want to do the Baron here, but my team is pushing for the turret. Maybe me and Galio can do it. Oh, I do it so quickly. I mean, it makes sense because I'm like full build in 13 minutes, but we do it so quickly. Oh my, oof. Okay, Lux, calm down. Lux almost stole that. I'm not known for having the best smites. For those of you that watch my streams, so you know how good my smites are. Can I catch this Tryndamere? I don't have Prolo built. Oof, barely not in range. We're not in smite range either. Oh, we're gonna have to ult out because Tryndamere does have ult. Misfortune is there. We're gonna look for another angle. I don't really want to go in without my ulti because even if I kill the Misfortune, I'll be very vulnerable to Tryndamere just whacking me with his big sword. So we're just gonna chill. It's always risky going in on Ekko when you don't have your shield or your ulti. Okay, now our ulti's back up. Again, the cooldown is very tiny after level 13. She's ulting the wave, but we're gonna be able to pick her up by dashing over the turret. And we still have our ult, so we're very, very safe. We're gonna continue counter jungling even though we're full build because we're denying the enemy resources. But I do need to base to defend our inhibitor. They've done a great job of actually split pushing. They've gotten all our turrets except 2 inhibitors. So turret-wise, they actually have more than us, despite us being so far ahead. I don't even take my red buff. Okay, nice. I'll get the red buff. What? What was that damage? We just one-tapped him with our third ability from like 70% HP. That was absolutely disgusting damage. Nah, they need to nerf Ekko. That's not normal. Oof. I think the red buff actually got the dragon. Cause I didn't smite. I didn't think that anybody would try to steal it. I didn't think about it, but Lux tried to steal it and we actually got it with the red buff. That would have been really close. That was really, really close. Again, we're going fishing with our second ability just in case somebody steps into it. Clean up the wave. I do want to get this mid inhib here. We're going to use our second ability again in case somebody walks over it. Try and predict. Can jump on the Aurelia, but we're going to ult out immediately. And now we're going to use our second ability again to see if there's an angle to re-engage. That's kind of how you want to be playing fights with Ekko, right? Go in, use your abilities, ult out if you need to. We're gonna keep clearing the enemy jungle. Again, we want to be denying them resources so they don't catch up to us in gold, especially since we can't buy any more items. Clearing out the waves to pressure the enemy. I am basing here. I think maybe I should swap out my Nashor's Tooth for something. I could do Oblivion Orb, but I'm choosing against it. I'm not sure which one would be better. I think Oblivion Orb might be a little better since we're not getting that many auto attacks anyway, since it's late game. But Nashor's Tooth does have an AP scaling, and since we have so much AP right now, it might make more sense to have Nashor's Tooth. Anyway, I'm not super sure, so I'm just gonna keep the Nashor's Tooth. Lux is kind of called out by herself. We do have Prolo Belt coming up, so we should be able to kill her. There we go, quick and easy combo. legendary. We're 19-0 this game. We're absolutely destroying them. He has his ultimate, so we're just gonna run away with our huge movement speed from our passive. We still have our ultimate too. By Aurelio. Gonna ult out. Maybe the stun is enough for our team to follow up. It is not. I wanna do Baron. Just to finish off the game. Galio and Owen maybe will come help me. Oh. The enemies are overextending. Predict where they're gonna be with my stun. Cancel the MF ult. And there we go. Oh, Galio is ulting. Oh, he just ulted to steal my kill. I respect it. We weren't able to save the Vayne, but we did get MF and Lucian and proc her Guardian Angel. We also have 20 kills now. Oof, a 20 bomb. We're gonna clean up the Baron. And then with 3 inhibs down and Baron, the game's pretty much over. Oh my god. I didn't even smite. Okay. Oof. This Lux has given me one too many heart attacks. We're gonna take the blue buff and go on the other side just see if we can take the red buff as well. Oh, instead we find a Lux. Almost killed us with one ability, by the way. But now she has nothing and we'll be able to pick her up. And that's one thing with Ekko, right? You're very squishy. All this damage is one Lux third ability, by the way. She completely destroyed us. So you're very, very squishy with Ekko. Even though you do a lot of damage, people forget how easily you can die as well. I'm gonna go ahead and pick up the Elder Dragon since no one is around. Might as well. Gonna recall to get back my full HP. And I guess get the T-Hex since my team does not want to get it. I'm not sure if Vayne was coming back for it or what. But now with Elder, Baron, and 3 inhibs, we're just gonna run it down mid and end the game. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's a pretty long video, but I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you learned how to play Ekko. I hope you're an Ekko pro after watching this. If you have any additional tips or comments about Ekko, I'll be answering your questions down below in the comments. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like and subscribe for more Wild Rift content.